80% of all global trade volume travels by sea, making our maritime ports the ultimate economic choke points. To survive this volume, these facilities have to modernize, moving away from manual labor toward automated, AI-driven operations. These ports never sleep. They operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with zero human intervention down on the docks. Managing an automated terminal requires a massive scale of organization. You are orchestrating the movement of thousands of containers simultaneously, down to the millimeter. There is a complication in this race to modernize. Right now, China dominates the global automated logistics space. Chinese state-backed companies supply 70% of the world's automated cranes, and they provide the majority of the financing to build them. So nations face a trade-off. How do you capture these productivity gains without sacrificing data privacy and supply chain sovereignty? This chart plots operational efficiency against sovereign security. Treating modernization as a technology upgrade without a geopolitical framework trades long-term control for a boost in efficiency, creating a deep strategic dependency. The hardware driving these new ports includes private 5G networks, driverless automated guided vehicles, and smart rail cranes. These technologies physically maneuver cargo at high speeds, eliminating the frequent delays and errors caused by human operators. The efficiency outcomes are immediate. Inspection times drop to under a minute, and daily transshipment capacity can double. When physical bottlenecks are removed, overall logistics costs can drop by as much as 65%. These gains require massive upfront capital and integration into the physical footprint of the terminal. Because the hardware is so deeply integrated into the concrete and steel, it creates vendor lock-in. Ripping out and replacing compromised tech later is incredibly expensive. Upgrading a port costs billions. To cover that, many nations turn to state-backed infrastructure loans, like those offered through China's Belt and Road Initiative. This model delivers rapid modernization using attractive, easily accessible upfront capital. But host nations are often exposed to hidden debt, financial obligations that are excluded from their public balance sheets. These turnkey contracts frequently include opaque confidentiality clauses that limit a borrower's legal and political options. If a nation defaults, the consequences are severe. Creditors can seize control of the sovereign assets themselves, sometimes enforcing 99-year leases on the port. Turnkey financing solves the immediate capital problem, but it transforms commercial logistics into a lever for foreign geopolitical control. The primary alternative to state-backed loans is sourcing capital through Western multilateral development banks and development finance corporations. This capital respects national sovereignty and insulates the host country from predatory debt traps. But there is a trade-off. Sovereign capital requires rigorous vetting, feasibility studies, and strict environmental standards. These bankability requirements make capital slower to access and harder for developing nations to secure. Securing resilient financing forces policymakers to trade immediate modernization speed in exchange for long-term strategic independence. Beyond the financing, there is the software layer. Smart ports run on centralized digital logistics platforms, such as China's Longgong system. These platforms achieve unparalleled real-time supply chain visibility and automate route optimization. This data is collected by sensor-equipped smart cranes manufactured by state-backed monopolies. When foreign-built sensors track every container movement, they create a cybersecurity vulnerability across the entire terminal. This grants foreign entities potential backdoor access to classified pricing, transit data, and the movement of military equipment. A compromised digital layer negates the benefits of operational efficiency, turning a commercial port into a national security liability. Automating your port is mandatory, but accepting a monolithic technology stack from a single nation is a fatal strategic error. True resilience requires decoupling physical hardware, like the cranes, from the digital layer and data platforms. This decision tree maps the journey based on your access to capital. For capital-constrained developing nations, the priority must be transparent procurement. You must pursue MDB financing despite the friction and avoid opaque contractual clauses. The delays of Western financing are worth the cost to avoid sovereign debt traps and predatory confidentiality terms. Strategic hubs have a different mandate. You must implement allied-backed digital architecture. You should ban vulnerable software ecosystems entirely from your docks. the efficiency gains of cheap foreign sensors are negated by exposing your national supply chain data. To survive the automated era, governments must protect, fund, and manage commercial ports as critical national security infrastructure.